Prince Harry the Tyrannical? Revealing the despotic tendencies of the modern Windsor. In the realm of modern royalty, Prince Harry has often been hailed as a harbinger of change, a new royal, if you will. He is commended for his emotional intelligence, racial sensitivity, and commitment to environmental causes. Except for the occasional private jet trip to enjoy the lavish lifestyle at Elton John's opulent retreat in the south of France. He is perceived as a departure from the rigid and traditional royals of yesteryears, embodying a metrosexual charm. He even lets slip that he indulges in the occasional Nando's meal, as candidly revealed in his book Spare. However, pardon me for being skeptical. I am left pondering a crucial question. If Prince Harry is truly a modern prince, a noble escapee from the confines of aristocratic prejudices, then why does he constantly wield his royal influence? Why is he so quick to reprimand the government, the press, and even us commoners? One can't help but wonder, does he feel entitled to lecture on matters such as the democratically elected government, surpassing even his father, the king? I find it hard to believe that he is the embodiment of this so-called new royal. Whenever I witness Harry in action, whether he is railing against tabloids or chastising the Tory administration, I am reminded of the chilling vision of what life must have been like under monarchs who held genuine power. It evokes memories of enduring the arrogant decrees of individuals whose elevated status derived solely from their paternal lineage. In this respect, Harry exemplifies that imperious style of a bygone era far more than any other member of the Windsor family. He becomes Harry the Tyrannical, the only prominent figure in the firm who currently employs his princely status to pursue political objectives. Did the Civil War's struggles teach us nothing? What struck me the most during the phone hacking trial was Harry's scathing denouncement of the government. Regardless of the alleged misconduct of the Daily Mirror, Sunday Mirror, and the People, accused of hacking his devices to procure stories, it was the prince's archaic rebuke of Rishi and his colleagues that unnerved me. In his witness statement at the High Court, Harry asserted that both the press and the government had reached a rock-bottom state. He asserted that Britain's international reputation was being tarnished by the precarious state of the current administration. He decreed that democracy fails when the government and the media collude to maintain the existing power structure. Firstly, it is preposterous to assume that Harry, whose public influence is solely a consequence of the archaic ideology of royal bloodline, has the authority to lecture us on democracy. Secondly, one must question his motivations. The Guardian delicately phrased it as Harry breaking royal protocol through his government criticisms. Let us be forthright. It is entirely unacceptable for a prince to make such haughty and intrusive statements. Harry is not your ordinary citizen. He holds a unique position as the son of the king and sits at the fifth position in the line of succession to the throne. It is a blatant affront to the historical struggle of this nation, which aimed to curb the power of monarchs and empower the people, for a prince to exploit his inherited royalty to condemn our elected representatives. In light of this situation, it is imperative that the king takes action. It appears to me that Harry has two choices before him. Either he retains his royal status, refrains from espousing his dull, politically aligned views, or he relinquishes his lofty position and embraces the humble stature of an ordinary citizen, allowing him the freedom to voice his opinions unrestrictedly. Then there is his evident disdain for the tabloids. This attitude bears a striking resemblance to the despotic tendencies of monarchs from bygone eras who detested the popular press for its ability to incite and provoke the masses. While it is universally agreed upon that phone hacking is an unacceptable violation of privacy, the extent to which Harry claims to have been targeted on an industrial scale by the Mirror Group newspapers remains to be fully substantiated. Nevertheless, there is something deeply disconcerting about Harry's solo campaign to change the media, as he himself has described it. Does this not harken back to the aspirations of the ancient Star Chamber? The desire to alter and control the media, to tame its radical nature, all in the name of the monarchy? Is this not reminiscent of George III's actions when he issued a warrant for the arrest of the champion of press freedom, John Wilkes, merely for daring to criticize the king in his audacious publication, The North Briton? And is this not akin to the royals' relentless persecution of Daniel Isaac Eaton, the revered 18th-century radical journalist, who faced prosecution 8 times between 1793 and 1812, primarily for publishing seditious libels against the monarchy? The battle for press freedom in this country was fought precisely for the right to satirize and lampoon kings and princes. Hence, every British individual who values this hard-earned liberty should recoil when a prince has the audacity to question, "Who on earth is policing the newspapers?" as Harry did earlier this week. The policing of the press is not your concern, young man. For a considerable time, I have consistently argued that Prince Harry and Meghan embody the antithesis of modernity. They exude the characteristics of traditional, old-school royals, harboring an insatiable desire for absolute power and dominion over every facet of existence. If we were to transport Harry back 2 centuries, one can easily envision him amassing an army to wage war against his own kin and seize the throne. Harry's contempt for the popular press carries an unmistakable air of snobbery. Delve into his Bookspare, and you will discern this sentiment firsthand. He depicts the tabloid phenomenon as genuinely unsettling, attributing its disconcerting nature to the fact that some readers naively buy into its nonsensical fabrications. According to Harry, the common folk, whom he derogatorily labels oiks, are subjected to a constant drip-feed of stories that gradually seep into their consciousness, ultimately shaping their beliefs without their awareness. Essentially, he perceives us as intellectually inferior while he, blessed with the exalted status of Windsor bloodline, considers himself inherently wiser and superior. This self-perceived intellectual superiority leads Harry to harbor what The Guardian describes as a moral duty to revolutionize the media landscape. Curiously absent is any meaningful opposition to Harry's monarchical theatrics. The bourgeois left, inherently disdainful of tabloid journalism, paradoxically finds itself rallying behind this privileged prince's crusade against the popular press. Regrettably, they fail to recognize the potential ramifications when members of the royal family exploit their unearned influence to antagonize the press, the public, and even the government. Prince Harry roasts the British press, ecstatically exclaims Owen Jones, a columnist for The Guardian. One cannot help but imagine the fervour with which Jones would have cheered had he been present 250 years ago, exclaiming, "King George just totally owned John Wilkes." It is imperative that Harry realizes the gravity of his actions. While his grievances against the press may be valid, they do not afford him the right to stifle or manipulate the free flow of information. The principles of press freedom far outweigh individual sensitivities and must be safeguarded at all costs. Thank you for watching today's video. To stay up to date with all my future videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.